Hey Logan, I got to run to catch a train in a bit, but I wanted to jump into your folders and your files just so that you can see sort of what my process is when looking at this stuff. So I got your email. So TRS files, put the TRS zip file into the makeup work folder. Subject in the video is transparent. I'm not sure how that happened. And then the live action extraction issues. Composition won't render because it claims I have an invalid argument. It's in the troubleshooting folder. Okay, so I'll take a look at both of these. So I see you have your extract and your other extract. I'm guessing one of these is the TRS, and then one of these is the extract, or maybe they both are. I'm not honestly sure which is which, but I will just copy both and put them on my computer. So let's start with the first one, I guess. So Logan green extract. We will go ahead and extract the extract. Cool. Let me delete that zip folder. Okay. So in here, I think this is the one that I told you I needed the additional stuff for, and I think you gave it to me. I think that's what this is, but there's no makeup work folder. Oh, I'm looking at troubleshooting. Okay, so maybe I need to grab from the makeup. I see it. There we are. Okay, so I'm guessing extract number 2 is what we need for this one, and then this is TRS. Cool, cool, awesome. So let's extract number 2 then. That's the noise. That's the noise folders make while they extract. Just in case you were wondering. Sweet. Let's get rid of that. Boopity-boo. So it looks like, yeah, we've got the video files here. So is this the right one, or is the other one the right one? So that's 11/8 at 8:26 p.m. And then this is 11:15. Okay, so the most recent one is in the first folder, but the video files are in the second folder. Okay, okay. I can work with that. Let's open that up. Oh, that's taking a while. Oh, nope, it just opened and didn't want to tell me. Ah, nice. Okay, so first thing we will do is sync up your video files, just because the paths are pointing to places that, don't exist on my computer, as is the case. So this we're reading in Logan Green _ extracts.mp4. So that, oh, sorry, Lorenzo right side. Wait, what? Yeah, Lorenzo right side. What was I reading before? Oh, geez. Yeah, we'll just, it's right there. That's the one. So we'll just point it to that. This might cause some issues because you have the number sign in your file path, and computer systems, Windows is pretty forgiving, but it might not like the fact that there is a number sign here. If you're working on Linux, which is what most studios use, it will just throw a little tantrum at that. So I'm gonna just put these video files, move them here. Let's just make sure they work. Yes, they do. Awesome. You've still got some camera motion on this, but it's not that bad. Ooh, this is going to be a tough extraction. There is green spill all over the place. That's going to be a tough one. Yes, Dana. Yes, dear. True, true, true. Okay, so let's point to Lorenzo.mp4. There we are, upside down. Why are we upside down? That's really weird. Why in the world? Okay, that's very strange. That's very strange. Okay. I don't know why it's like that. That's very funny. That's easy to fix, though. Not an issue. Goodness gracious. What a day. What a day. Okay. And this would be the Founders Park left side. And that's reading incorrectly. What in the world? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What a wailed. What a wailed. Okay, so it looks like, let me just flip this. This is funny. This is funny. I don't think this is anything you did. I don't know why it's doing that. That's super cool. So we'll just scale this negative. Hey, there we are. Okay, so your chroma key, not too shabby. Yeah, that's pretty darn solid is what that is. Nice. Little bits here and there that might be issues, but overall, that's great. Let's see, so you've got a roto going on. What is this? What is this doing? Not sure what that's doing, to be honest, but it does exist. And then this roto, I'm also not sure what that's doing either. It's just kind of sitting over here. And then this roto, which isn't attached to anything. Okay. Then a transform, because I guess you want him over there. Then a position. I don't even know what this node is. And it's also not doing anything. So, yeah, that's probably not necessary. And then a crop, but then you cropped it smaller. You cropped your own subject out of it, so probably don't want to do that either. And then a grade, and then a merge. So the reason you're not seeing anything is because you cropped your subject out of your own frame. One thing I do notice right away is that your background plate is 960 pixels by 540 pixels, which is not going to match up with the plate that you shot, which is HD, which is 1920 by 1080. So we need to get these two to be the same size before anything else happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a reformat on top of your background plate, change that to our show format, which is 1920 by 1080. So now they're in the same world. That's good. These rotos are not doing anything to help you, so I'm just going to delete them. This position node, you haven't changed any of the, like if you turn it on and off, it's not doing anything. So I'm just going to delete that as well. That's not doing anything. Your crop is actively cutting your actor out of the shot, so I'm going to delete that as well. Your grade should 100% not be the way it is. And what I mean by that is you should be unpre-multiplying, grading, and then pre-multiplying, so that any soft edges, particularly when it comes to things like shadows or anything that's not like a hard, solid line, so cloth, fabric, so that is graded appropriately, and you don't get these weird lines that you're seeing in some other people's projects. So always unpre-mult, grade, then pre-mult. Cool. And then we have a merge. Haha. Okay, so we're in business. Cool, 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 cool. First things first, we need to get rid of all this excess junk. You were on the right track with wanting to crop it. The problem was you were working in the wrong format with that crop. So let's bring our crop friend back right here, and we're just gonna attach this to. Let's attach it to the plate. Even before we do our chroma, we'll put this crop in here. So if we look at this, we've got to move our crop so that it's only keeping what we want to keep. So only keeping your actor. So we'll just make sure he never goes beyond the borders of this crop we've got set up. Cool. Oh, but maybe he did there. So let's expand that a little bit. And expand this a little bit. Okay, and what this should do is, I think this is gonna keep us relatively safe. Okay, we're still, merci. We've still got some stuff here, which this is where an animated roto will be our good friend in this instance. So at the end of everything, I'm just going to put a roto node. Yes, Dana, that is correct. Oh, cool. Well, that's bonkers. Why do you look like that? That's weird. Let's reload that frame. There we go. Oh my god. Okay. So it's at its worst at the end. So we're just going to skip to the end. It's glitching out like crazy here. So I'm just going to ignore what's going on and just go with what I know is there. So this is what I know is there. If you hit this little refresh button, it's supposed to reload the frame. It looks like it's having issues. So sometimes when it does this glitch stuff, click on cache and clear all caches. That can help. It forces it to reload everything. But in our case, it actually made it worse. So yay! But so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to mask out the area that I know is giving us this additional yucky gray stuff. And okay, I have to remember how to do this. Multiply. Oh, okay, so it's not multiply, it is mask. Nope. It is mat. Nope. It is exclude. Is there an exclude? A, B, C, D. Exclusion. Nope. Okay, maybe if the color is black, if the mask's color is black and then I multiply it. Sorry, this takes me a second because it's such a different process than it is in Nuke. You know what? I'm gonna use it as multiply, but I'll use this mask instead of trying to cover up the area that's bad. I'll use it to reveal what's good. So how about that? Okay, so make a mask, keep everything normal, just set it to multiply. Life is good. And then we'll just make sure this mask follows our friend here as he walks around. So every 10 frames or every 50 frames or so, I'm just gonna make sure it's tracking with him. So, you know, as he moves, so does our mask. Nothing super super in depth. Just a rough, keeping the basics roughly protected here. Cool. And then on 50. Cool. And then on 1. Cool. Okay, so now we've got him cleaned up. Now we've got to get the colors working. So he's very much so not in this world right now, and the reason being is that his shadows, self-occluding, shouldn't be so like he looks so lifted, right? Like he's almost made of smoke. So if we turn this off, this is actually much closer to how it would react in the real world. I don't know where you got these colors from, so I think you're trying to match it to these colors here, but your friend is not made of concrete. So when you're trying to match his lights and his darks to concrete, he just ends up looking a little bit strange and strange. Yeah, that's the best way. So on your grade, I'm just going to turn the mix of this, just take this down so he's got a little bit of a slight lift, maybe 0.15. Yeah, that's already much better. This is working so much better. Now he is a bit harsh, right? He's a little bit sharp. So I might, after all is said and done, I might even put just like a little bit of a blur on it, just a tiny bit. So maybe 0.5, no, maybe 1. Am I not looking at the right thing? Is this blurring? Reload. Okay, well, it's definitely working. We don't want him that blurred, obviously. Maybe a 2? Yeah, okay, so a 2. Now he's about the same level of sharpness here. he just kind of sits in there better. Maybe that's too far. Maybe I'll just go like 1.7. Okay, that's a little better. But I feel like he's sitting in here. He's still a bit warm. You might want to cool him off a little bit in terms of the light that's hitting him. But I do feel like this is much closer. Like you can look at the blacks here, look at the blacks here. He's fitting in much closer, I think, to his environment than he was before. Now let's see, what is this roto here? I'm not sure what this roto is doing, so I'm just going to kill it. This noise, this is way too much noise, but it's a good idea. Noise does help stuff sit in, but you got to be subtle about it. So on the noise, I'm going to take the mix down to maybe like 0.2. No, that's still too much. Maybe 0.1. Yeah, that could be nice. That's small. That's tasteful. Yeah, and then it's all over but the crying. All you got to do is render this, and oh, I see what that mask was for. Nice, good call. Oh nope, that's not what that mask was for. Never mind. Okay, so I think you were trying to mask his shadow so it doesn't intersect with this, which is a great idea. I like it, but I think what you would need to do is, since you are reading the person over top, because A over B, over top of the background, then you could use a mask here. So let's try that. Watch, this isn't going to work. I always say, like, let's try that, and then it never works. But let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. So if I attach the mask to this roto, yes, I know. Then we mask out this area. All right. And then I think it's this way. Yay! Okay, cool. So now, yes, Winston. Yes, Winston. So we just have to make sure, okay, it needs to be further over. So let's just make this cover the entirety of the area so he doesn't get cut off or anything. There we go. Okay, so it needs a lot of finessing. It's absolutely not perfect, but this is working. This is working for us. A couple final things before we write this out. We want to make sure it's in the right format, but first we've got to kill the bounding box because you've got information outside of the frame. We always want to kill that before rendering. So we'll just put a crop on it. We'll make sure our crop is set to format, and that format is set to 1920 by 1080. All right, and then we've got a nice crystal image. This looks wrong. This is actually wrong. You shouldn't be. You know what? I'll make a new one. I'll just put a right node. So I pressed W to make a right node, or you can type in right in the tab, and that'll work too. And I'll put this onto my desktop in the Logan folder. Then I'll just call this test render version 1.mp4. Okay. So I'll connect that to the bottom here. Yes, so we'll render this as an MP4. The codec should be H.264, ideally. Fingers crossed that works. It should work. Sometimes it doesn't, though, but it should. Okay, then I will save the script and render this. So I'll press the render button here. And it's cranking away. Yeah. Let's see. Shoot, I'm going to be late for work. Okay. Almost done. All right, 47 seconds to go. We are almost there. Yeah. All right, so 30 seconds going. Almost there. It still obviously needs some work on the grade, but I think this is so much closer. Okay, it is finished rendering. Let's make sure this worked. What in the shit? Man, I hate this program. Okay, well, it rendered just, you know, oh, and it's doing that awful thing. It was, okay. Let's try something else. Let's try something else. You know what? I'll render it the way you had it going. And I'll also throw a reformat on here to really force the format. Because I don't know why it's kind of ignoring that. Okay, I'm just going to change. Let me delete the previous attempt. Okay. Test render score version 2.p4. All right, and then yeah, we'll use the one you had selected. Okay, so double checking. Our format is correct. Our reformat is correct. It's being forced, so there's no reason this should wind up looking ridiculous. Also, I don't know where the weird unpremult junk is coming from. Let's try this again. Almost seems like it's rendering faster this time. Weird. I really hope it works this time. God damn it. Yeah, and we're still getting these weird white lines. This is, and, oh my god. This is the worst. Okay. It sucks when I can play through this on my computer and it performs better than when I render it. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's try something completely different. I'm gonna save this as an image sequence because, let's be real, literally no one in the industry saves stuff as a video file. We don't do that. We save them as image sequences, and then for preview purposes it's converted in another program. But very rarely do you ever render out of a compositing program as an image as a video file. So we're going to render this as an image sequence and see if that serves us better. So we'll call this test sequence, and then just we'll convert the footage using a different program. So Logan test underscore hashtag hashtag. Well, we'll just go 00% d dot png. Okay. Frame range. Manual. The frame range will be 1 to 360. Okay. Compression level. Aha. No compression. We'll turn that off, and then we'll render it. So what this is doing is rendering each frame as a separate image. But it's still doing it gigantic. Why? This is really frustrating. I wonder if that's why. Okay, I'm gonna cancel this. Ha! Ha 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 ha! That's why. Okay, I figured it out. Your background plate doesn't have an alpha on it, so this, I think, is where a lot of our problems are coming from. Okay, I really hope this fixes it. So, easiest way to just put like a flat alpha on it, we will just I think we can just shuffle, yeah. Shuffle to 1, I believe. Or is it shuffle to 0? Oh, there we go. Nope, it's 1. Yes. Okay, so you'll make a shuffle. You'll plug both the A and the B into whatever it is you want to have a solid alpha. And then you'll change it to 1. So 0 is full black, 1 is full white. So you want a full alpha. Crop that, format, reformat, reformat, right. Ah, interesting. Why is our right node overriding to 960 by 540 when we clearly have our out format selected? That's gross. Why is that happening? Change this to 360. Lock range. Ah, that's so annoying. That shouldn't be. It shouldn't be doing this. Let me see. Yeah, it even says right here, 1920 by 1080. 1920 by 1080. That's what we're doing. %D. Yes. Oh no. Did I mess it up? I messed it up. No, maybe now it's working? What in the world? Oh, this is stupid. Okay, let's try rendering this again and see if it works. So on the crop, I changed the crop to reformat. I put the shuffle as full alpha. What is ROD? I don't even know what that means. Region of definition of the source as the source format. No, just to format. Yeah. Okay, let's give that a try. Okay, and then we should be able to see. Hey, and now it's working. Awesome. Well, that was easy. It wasn't. But this is, you know, the importance of troubleshooting. You'll see that most of my work isn't revolving around the artistry of the piece. It's mostly revolved around making it work. That's why it's so important to be proactive on all projects. to start them as soon as possible, to run into these problems as soon as possible, so that you have all that time to actually do your job, which as a VFX artist, as an animation artist, as a filmmaker, is troubleshooting. For example, let's say you're shooting a live action film, no VFX. Well, you can show up with a camera and a script and wing it, or you can meticulously storyboard. You can get together with your cameraman, your DOP beforehand, get together with your actors beforehand, rehearse the blocking, rehearse the script, walk through the camera move, figure out what kind of focus you're going to pull, what kind of lens you're going to pull before you even shoot. Then when you get to set, things are going to go wrong because you're on set. That's what happens on set. But since you've done all of that work beforehand, you have that place to, you're starting off of a solid foundation. Now, if you had just showed up on set with the script and kind of what you wanted in your mind and to wing it, well, then you would be so much far behind. You wouldn't have that solid foundation of prep work to build off of. The same is true here. Get the prep work done, and then you can work on the problems that arise. And you know what? If no problems arise, then you can throw all that time into the artistry of it. And the more you do something, whether it's shooting a video, whether it's, compositing something, the more you'll know how to handle the problems. The more your focus shifts to the artistry, the better of an artist you'll become. So it's not necessarily about trying to be an artist right now. It's about trying to learn how to use the tools so that you can use that tool later as an artist. Whether you're a director working with actors, working with directors of cinematography, or whether you're an animator trying to get a good performance out of a character. If you don't know your tools, you can't start. So next thing I'll do is I'll take this image sequence and I'll just throw it into Premiere and then write that out as an MP4. So as long as the work is done in Natron, you can use any tool you want to convert file formats. That's not part of the assignment. Part of the assignment is getting it done and getting it in, and that's the crucial part of the assignment. So I'm not, just so you know, this is me helping you troubleshoot, me helping you solve these problems. I'm happy to walk through them with you, but you've still got to walk this on your own, right? I still expect you to turn this assignment in when it's completed, once you've solved these problems on your end as well. So this isn't this isn't like a submission, right? This is you asking for help. When I get a Natron file, it's someone asking for help. When I get a video file, it's someone asking for a grade. That's the difference right there. So we'll just set this to normal. That's fine. My computer is protesting. It doesn't like me recording stuff and trying to work with software at the same time. Well, and Premiere crashed. Yay, Adobe! Okay, let's import the media here. This will be Logan. Oh no, I called it test sequence. That's it. Call it test sequence. Image sequence, check that on. Click on the first frame. And sometimes it doesn't actually import the video, which it did not, so we'll try this again. And now it did for some reason, so that's good, but only part of it. I still have yet to solve this bug, but it doesn't like the way the zeros work, which is super annoying. We're also going to interpret the footage to change it to 24 frames per second, because right now it's reading it as 29, which is incorrect. I believe, yeah, this is going to take us all the way up to 10. So now we've got to load in 10. And then this I also have to change. Right-click, modify, interpret footage, assume frame rate 24 frames per second. Cool. And this will probably take us most of the way, right? I think this is all the way. No, it's not, because he doesn't go. Okay. So I guess the next one I'll read in is 100. Yeah, that looks right. And then right-click, modify, interpret footage, 24 frames per second. Okay. And that looks like the end. Okay, cool. So just drag this into my timeline. Add the next bit. Add the next bit. Cool. Export media. Export as H.264. Maximum render quality. Render at maximum depth. VBR2 pass. And we will indeed save this as Logan test 1. Export. And this result should really work in any media player. Okay, so that's rendered. Let's take a look just to make sure. Oh, some weird stuff's happening. Okay, I would need to troubleshoot that further, but we got there, you know? This would have been, you know, a glitchy and problematic, but acceptable submission. The biggest problem right now with these and why there's some glitches and they're not playing nice together is I think you shot this at 2 different frame rates. Let me just double check to verify that. Yeah, okay. So you shot your green screen portion at 30 frames per second. Never shoot at 30 frames per second. Just a heads up. It'll always throw you off. Then you also shot this at, no, so they're both 30 frames per second. So why is that an issue? I don't know. Anyway, something else to troubleshoot, but I am already super late for work, so this is going to have to do. So please, now you have seen it laid out in front of you. Do the assignment and submit it for late work. Send me an email when you do that. I will take a look at the TRS portion, but this was just the extraction portion. I may not have time to do that tonight, but I will get to it as soon as I can.